Welcome back, dear viewers. You're still watching The Breakfast Show live on Nile TV International. It's now time for a second topic of discussion for today, and we'll be talking about e-learning or distance learning in light of the COVID-19 pandemic that has brought the whole world to a stand still and an unprecedented global emergency. And to shed more light on this topic, we're most delighted to be joined here in the studio by Dr. Gehan Zahran, Professor of Developing Educational Technology. A very good morning, Doctor, and thank you so much for joining us on The Breakfast Show.
Good morning.
Doctor, first of all, if you can tell us in your opinion, how can distant education or e-learning contribute to the shaping of personality of children and youth?
All right, that's a very big question. Actually, we know that the audience already does know what is in e-learning and what's the technology and what's the interactive learning first. Let us tell them a little bit about the e-learning and the interactive learning for all. It's just a kind of online learning, but it should be as the whole criteria of the whole educational improvement and impact to the students. So as well as the on-site learning is giving a lot of things, a lot of interacting between the instructor and the students, but the e-learning should have the same. Especially on the face of crisis, as you said, we have in COVID-19 and we have a lot of things that changed a little bit the image of education. But there is a lot of progress happened in the last period, like a year from now, related to the image of education and the reimagining of education in a new shape of the e-learning or the interactive learning. It's already there. In everything we have pillars and challenges.
Yes.
All right. The pillars that we have it's one of the pillars in education, that's the learning through an improvement. So, and we have learning and somehow. The challenges that we face, a lot of things, but what we can say, sum up, that we have an image for the interactive learning and somehow. We started to know exactly what to have to send. We're starting to know exactly how to train teachers, exactly how to know or how to deliver the information in a different way. Starting from what's going on nowadays, it's a lot of things. If you want to talk about how we can face that later on, I'll tell you we have to look for something called homeschooling. And this is actually, it should be a discussion nowadays. Egypt has to start that, has to start to know exactly what's homeschooling, not because of what's going on in COVID-19, but because that this is something already, it's in the whole world. It's an adaptation of already existing policy, existing system of education. So we have the e-learning or the interactive learning, which is basic. And we should look with a look an eye for the homeschooling and how to integrate that and make a model in Egypt.
Yes. So also in your opinion, what are the negative aspects that must be addressed in the educational system in Egypt? Your insight on this issue?
I think from a point of view is the core most of the time is the teacher. The one who has already delivered the information. He has to get the knowledge and the eager and the self-confident how to deliver his information on cam as well as he doing in the class. All right, so, and that's what's the challenging. Most of the people or most of the instructor or professor, that they have a very big names in their lectures, but in the online learning, they couldn't deliver that in the right way. So it means it's a skill. It's something need to be taught.
So capacity building is key here.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. Also, Dr. Gehan, the progress that Egypt has made on digital platforms and the digital transformation that the educational sector is witnessing, if you can talk to us more a little bit about that.
There's a lot of things that happen either in K-12, the schools, or the higher education, universities. A lot of changing happening in the past month, by the way. Let's say that the LM system, the learning management system, start to be basic things in both ways. So there is no school, no university without learning management system. That's a kind of e-learning. It means digitalization. It means the content on the LM system. It means interacting between the students and the instructor and the admin wise as well. And parents can see all of that. So that's It can be, what I can say that it's basically happened right now. Okay, and if one of the organizations and institutions doesn't have this, so they must have it, or they look for the right way to have it. Let's come to the digitalization. It's a piece of cake. It happened already. So all the content, all the curricula, either in schools or universities,
Is available online.
It's available and digitalized. So there's no problem for that. The point is that how to do it, how to implement it in the right way, and we give the same impact for the students to know exactly what the right information that you get. Okay, as you know, we all used to on site and the interacting with the students. We used to give paper, we used to receive paper, all right, and we used to get instructions in front of the students himself, but now it should be a different way. And it's already there, so we're not inventing something new. It's already there.
Dr. Gehan, how do you think education would develop in the upcoming years, as we're also wrapping up 2020 and welcoming 2021? What do you think would be the development that we're going to be witnessing in the upcoming years?
I'm suggesting the homeschooling should have keep a big eye on that. I'm not talking homeschooling just to be home and learning. Let me get you a little bit things about the homeschooling. For example, do you have already know that most of the Egyptians abroad, all right, and they need to study the Egyptian curricula, and they cannot do that, right? Because of this, so they have to obligers and to study the curricula that the country is, whatever it's international schools or another curricula that they don't want, which is more expensive, which is doesn't want this, which is a little bit subjects they don't need to learn. But if we made the homeschooling, we will give the opportunity to the Egyptians abroad to study our curricula, and they feel a little bit secure and safe that they are kids studying their curricula, and they have also places in universities when they graduate.
Yeah.
So actually this is another thing, regardless
so what
the
would
crisis.
be, what would be your tips for those who are willing to go for homeschooling, but they don't have or they don't possess the know-hows? What would be your advice for them?
Actually, having a very big things, it just has, it's a place, it's an infrastructure place. All right, it has the instructors, not very much, by the way. They're just selected, and one will give for millions, so you don't need to have a lot of teachers to give that. And you have just one place to have a very good infrastructures, like the smart village, for example. And most of ways that you have already the software system, which is nothing.
Yeah.
From the registration to the certificates after that to the students. It's just a software. A software with a well-organized system. That's all.
Yes. As we're wrapping up, a message that you'd like to send?
My message is just we have to keen a little bit regarding education, and we have to look for it that education is fun. It's not something that really very tough.
Yes.
It's fun and flexible and easy to deliver. That's the pillars.
Yes. Dr. Gehan Zahran, Professor of Developing Educational Technology, we really appreciate your insight and your presence with us on The Breakfast Show. We wish you a very happy new year.
Thank you.
Thank you. And dear viewers, by this we come to the end of today's episode of The Breakfast Show. Just a quick recap. We talked about the progress of the Egyptian economy as we're wrapping up 2020 and 2021 is just around the corner. And we also talked about the importance of e-learning or distant education with our guest here in the studio. Dear viewers, you're in the company of myself, Karim Gamaluddin, and my dear colleague Mahisti Rabia. Until we meet again, this goodbye.